In a bustling village where life moved fast and distractions were everywhere, there lived a young man named Rohan. Rohan was smart, ambitious, and full of ideas. But no matter how hard he tried, he could never seem to finish what he started. His mind was always crowded, jumping from one thought to another, chasing endless worries, dreams, and doubts. Every morning, he woke up with big plans, and by nightfall, he had achieved almost nothing. His energy was scattered across too many unfinished tasks, too many imagined problems, too many regrets about the past, and fears about the future. Deep inside, Rohan was frustrated. He saw others move forward with calm determination, while he felt trapped inside his own chaotic mind. He thought maybe he lacked talent. Maybe success simply wasn't meant for someone like him. What he didn't realize was that success wasn't about thinking more. It was about thinking better. And mastering his thoughts would be the key to mastering his life. One afternoon, feeling completely overwhelmed, Rohan sought out the village monk, an old man known for his peaceful mind and steady focus. They sat together under a quiet tree, away from the noise of the village. Rohan poured out his frustration, explaining how his mind constantly pulled him in 100 directions. The monk listened patiently, and then said, "Your mind is like a wild horse. If you let it run freely, it will tire itself and go nowhere. But if you guide it gently and consistently, it will take you wherever you wish to go." He handed Rohan a small stone and instructed him, "Each morning, before you start your day, hold this stone. Close your eyes. Focus on one clear thought. Only one. Practice bringing your mind back to that thought every time it wanders." It sounded simple, almost too simple. But Rohan was desperate enough to try. That night, for the first time in years, he went to bed with a tiny spark of hope. Maybe he could learn to ride the wild horse of his mind. Maybe focus was a skill he could build, not a gift he had to be born with. The next morning, Rohan sat quietly, holding the small stone in his hand. His mind, as usual, raced in a dozen directions. Worries about unfinished work, memories of past mistakes, excitement about future plans. But each time a thought pulled him away, he remembered the monk's words. Gently, without anger, he brought his focus back to the single thought he had chosen for the day. Today, I will finish what I start. It wasn't easy. Sometimes he had to bring his mind back dozens of times within a few minutes. But slowly, something changed. The more he practiced, the faster he noticed when his thoughts wandered, and the easier it became to refocus. Throughout the day, whenever distraction tugged at him, Rohan would touch the stone in his pocket and silently repeat his intention. Little by little, he began finishing tasks he once abandoned. Conversations became deeper because he truly listened. His work grew stronger because he stayed present. Rohan discovered that focus wasn't about never getting distracted. It was about noticing the distraction and choosing to return, again and again, without judgment. As the days turned into weeks, Rohan's mind grew noticeably calmer. The endless chatter that once controlled him began to fade into the background. He realized he had been living most of his life reacting to every thought as if it were urgent and important. Now, he understood that not every thought deserved his attention. Some were simply noise, passing clouds that didn't need to pull him off course. By focusing on one clear purpose each day, Rohan found a new kind of freedom. He could choose where to place his energy instead of being dragged by every distraction. His work improved. His conversations became richer. Even simple moments, like walking through the market or sitting by the river, felt more vivid and peaceful. People around him noticed the change. They asked him how he seemed so centered, so grounded, while the world around them stayed noisy and chaotic. Rohan smiled quietly, touching the small stone in his pocket. He knew that true focus wasn't about fighting the mind. It was about training it, guiding it gently, patiently, day after day. Over time, Rohan's ability to control his thoughts transformed every area of his life. Challenges that once overwhelmed him became manageable. Tasks that seemed impossible became simple when approached with steady, focused effort. He no longer wasted hours lost in regret over the past or fear about the future. Instead, he lived fully in the present moment, giving his best attention to whatever was in front of him. He discovered that the real battle was never outside. It was always within. Mastering his mind didn't mean eliminating every negative thought. It meant refusing to let those thoughts dictate his actions. Even on difficult days, even when worries crept back in, Rohan had built the strength to return to clarity and purpose. His success was no longer a result of random bursts of energy or fleeting inspiration. It was the product of disciplined focus, sharpened one small decision at a time. And as he grew, Rohan realized that true greatness isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters, with your whole heart and undivided mind. Years later, as Rohan sat beneath the same tree where his journey had begun, he smiled at the simple stone still resting in his hand. It had become a symbol, not of magic, but of mastery. Proof that the wild horse of his mind could be tamed through patience and practice. His life had not become easier. Distractions still existed, challenges still arose. But Rohan had changed. He had built an inner fortress, a mind strong enough to focus on what mattered and let go of what didn't. He understood now that success wasn't just about hard work or talent. It was about controlling the one thing everyone battles but few conquer: their own thoughts. True power, he realized, is not in reacting to every noise around you. It is in choosing where your attention lives and guarding it fiercely. And now, ask yourself, are you letting your thoughts control your life? Or are you ready to take control and build the focused mind your dreams deserve?